Hello. My name's Shauna, and I have an illness called schizoaffective disorder, which is a mix of schizophrenia and manic depression, or bipolar disorder. I've suffered from this since 1986, although I wasn't diagnosed until 1991 when I had my first breakdown or psychotic episode. I've had 3 psychotic episodes, and this performance is based on the first one I had in 1991. I was 21 at the time and living in Brumby Street, Surrey Hills. I'd been experiencing some depression and mania and drugs, and life had been moving very fast until finally I headed off to Tasmania for a short holiday. This was around the time that submissions for the Performance Spaces Open Week were due. I was trying to write a performance for my flatmates, Bridget, Mikey, Zaria, Annette, Joe, Jemima, Sonia, Jonathan, Marcus, and myself, to be in. This became somehow quite significant in my journey. This was also around the time the adoption laws were changing. I was trying to find my natural mother. I don't know whether or not this will help demystify mental illness. That's what I'd like to do ideally, but I don't pretend to understand it myself. This is just my story. What happened to me over a period of about 5 days until I went to Cath, a psychiatric hospital in Darlinghurst. Our story begins in Vishnu, being on the sand dunes, overlooking the sea. I was meditating. Had told me to start meditating, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop the drugs, and start meditating. I'd done all of these things. I was cleansing myself. I was drinking hot water with a squeeze of orange juice, that's all. I was fasting. I was purifying myself. As I meditated, I focused all my energy to the centre of my forehead. I could feel a rush. My head was spinning. I felt like I was speeding. I loved it. As I meditated, I'd noticed a sharp pain in my spine.
The energy's stuck.
As I kept meditating, it moved down to the base of my spine.
It hurts.
The energy was stuck at the base of my spine. I twisted around trying to free myself. The rocks had come to life. They had a life of their own. It was the dream time in Tasmania, and souls had escaped into the rocks. They were alive. I could feel it. Then I looked out to the ocean. I saw Venus rising from the waves. It was a Botticelli painting. Birth of Venus. I witnessed it. I was alone on the sand dunes. I felt amazing. I hopped on the ferry. It was time to go home, back to Sydney. There were people everywhere.
I'm okay.
There was a baby. I saw a baby. I looked into its eyes.
Both eyes at once.
I baptised it.
It'd be mine.
It would go off searching for me.
I'm okay. There's people everywhere, but they don't know where.
I made my way to the top deck of the ferry. It was dark. There was no one around. Shh. There's an old woman. I'm waiting for a light to come on. My friend in the caravan park is going to put a light on for me.
Do you have gypsy blood?
We all have gypsy blood. She was an angel. I'm on the top deck of the ferry. It's black everywhere. The sky, the sea. I'm alone up here. I have to do a performance. I've sent a letter off to Jonathan. We need 7 spotlights. 7. I have to do a performance. I'm feeling so good.
I'm on stage. And the ocean's my audience. I'm going to perform and tell you what I see.
I see the globe. It's getting smaller. I see the earth reducing before me.
I'm descended from these tribes. It's winter and it's cold, and they don't have enough vegetables, and they're going mad. Going mad. They're fighting for their survival, growing, getting stronger, spreading across the globe, conquering the globe. They've gone mad, the mad white tribes. I'm descended from these tribes.
And Tasmania?
Tasmania's the last frontier. We must save Tasmania, a new nation.
A nation of ferals and hippies.
The rednecks have to leave. This is a special place. We're going to live with nature, to be with nature. A feral island. A place for the descendants of the mad tribes, the ones who still feel their tribal roots. We'll rest here and regroup. This is a special place. Our new home. The last frontier on the way to the icelands of the south. The air is still pure and still fresh. Not like the north, polluted and grey. Come to this place to start anew. A new life, a new way of living, back to our tribal roots. Only this time we'll root out of the madness. They mixed with the Celts, the Huns, the Saxons, the Picts, they all mix. We all have mixed blood, but where do we come from? Us.
Whitings?
Did we all come from the same tribe at the beginning? How does it work?
Fuck, I wish I'd studied all this stuff.
Fuck, I wish I'd studied all this stuff. I want to know about the white tribes, the mad tribes. I want to know how they mixed. Did they go mad because they mixed? It's the dawn of time. We're white and seated on top of the world. We send our heroes out in search of food. They discover one another. They mix, they breed. Who contaminated us? Who had the mad blood? The mad blood spread. I can feel it. Fuck.
There were people. I was back on the top deck of the ferry, and people had witnessed my performance.
Oh, fuck.
I made my way back to my cabin. I mustn't let anyone see me. They'd think I was mad. I hopped up on my bed, pulled the curtain around me. I was safe. I started to meditate again. I started to feel a pain in my spine again. I started to double over. My head was getting stuck. My head is stuck. Then I realised what's happening.
I'm rebirthing!
I couldn't do this. It's too hard. I can't rebirth by myself.
I'm stuck!
I didn't know anything about my birth.
This is what happened. I got stuck. I can't do this. It's too hard.
I couldn't go through with it. I wanted the gypsy woman to help me. I sat up in my bed. That's when I noticed the Bible gripping. I knew that. I knew they'd taken drugs. Because I could feel it. I was feeding off them. Off the ferry. I had a day to kill in Melbourne before catching my train back to Sydney. I felt amazing. I felt so big. I knew that something important was happening. Something important was happening to me. I knew that I was doing something very special. I can't remember this. The ground started to shake. I met a boy who I thought was an angel. We went to a park together. He asked me to sit on his lap. I turned to him.
Do you know who you are?
Then the ground started to shake. The ground would shake when I was going the wrong way. Then when I turned a corner, the ground would be still. When the ground was still, I knew I was going the right way. Then I was at a library. There was something which I had to find, but I must be very discreet. No one must know what I'm looking for. It's a secret. I'm looking for a book. I'm looking for a book by a lecturer called Neil. I know he's written something secret, something with the answers I need to know. He's my lecturer, but I know he's used a different name. They're watching me. Excuse me, can I help you?
No, I'm okay.
They're suspicious of me. They know I'm looking for something. I have to leave here. I'm wandering around Melbourne. There's a man. Does he have a bell? The Lord shall return! He's saying something. Something about God. I look at him in the eye. He chases after me and gives me something. It's a gift. The Lord I return!
He knows who I am. He knows I'm special.
I go up to a policeman, just to prove that I'm okay. Just to prove that nobody knows who I am.
Nobody knows who I am.
I ask where the cinema is.
Excuse me, where's the cinema?
I go and see mermaids. I was on the night train back to Sydney. I could smell myself. An old woman sat behind me across in the other aisle. She was a guardian angel. She'd been sent to look out for me, make sure I was okay. It felt good to know she was there. I felt protected. I knew what I was doing was important. I knew I was on a mission. Then I realised, this is an initiation. I'm doing an initiation test. They're watching me, the higher souls. I grabbed the Gideon's Bible, which I'd stolen from the ferry, and began to read Revelations. The construction of its wall was of jasper.
Jasper?
And the streets
of
the city were pure gold, like clear glass.
Wicked women are somehow
foundations of the walls
the
of the city were adorned.
The Dyke Centre City somehow knows about this.
The first foundation was of jasper.
Jasper's the first stone. First stone, new city. We're creating a new city. And sapphire. Sapphire's the second stone. I know sapphire. Lisa's sapphire. Shauna! Fuck! What the fuck? It's been foretold. I'm in the Bible. I'm the third stone. I'm the third stone. The new city. Who are the others? Who are the others who are going to help? This is Arius. She said, we're not subjects. She did not. What the fuck is that? It's terrible. Little women's city. You have nothing to understand of it. We're just shining it. For the glory of God, violated it. The land of its life. And the nations of the earth shall walk in its glory. It's about the kingdom of the earth. Their splendor is honor into it. And its gates shall not be shut all by day. There shall be no night there. There shall be no night there. There are two stories. It's not just a Bible story. It's a vampire story.
The lights went out in the carriage. I shut the Bible and placed my hand on the cover. This is when I began to have revelations.
You can see the world. It's divided into estates. And on each of these estates there's a beautiful sandstone castle. In each of the castles there lives a vampire. And the vampires are wise and gentle. It's from them that the bloodlines come. And each of these beautiful old sandstone buildings, there's the most amazing libraries, and the libraries have all the knowledge of the world. And the libraries are seen to by the vampires, who are also masons. And I can see the inhabitants of the estates running around in the fields, wearing chastity belts, free and innocent.
Innocent and pure.
Is there an estate like this down in Tasmania I was meant to find? Was Dave waiting for me there?
Dave was a friend of my parents in London who was a mason.
I can see how the vampires work in this world. They steal children in the middle of the night. They take them to a better place. The vampires are good. They come from a parallel universe. And the elders are watching me. I'm doing a performance. This is a performance I wanted to write. I'm living it. An initiation. And the elders are watching me. Desert. 13. There were 13 at the Last Supper. Christ was the 13th. I can see the Last Supper. I can see a table. No, wait. I can see lots of tables, one for every century, going back in time. All the greats that are seated before God. I can see Leonardo, and I can see Rembrandt, and I can see Van Gogh, and I can see, it's me! I'm going to make it through this century. I'm going to be seated before God at the Last Supper.
I sat all night with my hand on the Bible. Images flooded through me. I understood everything. I knew what the Bible was saying. I saw back to the beginning. I saw Adam and Eve in the garden. I was watching the evolution of Western society, Western civilization, how we'd evolved. I saw the tribes again, how they mixed and spread across the globe. I was trying to follow bloodlines. I was trying to work out where I came from. I didn't know my natural parents. I didn't know where I came from. I just kept seeing all these images of everything, the Western world. I was trying to follow my bloodline. I was trying to work out who I was, where I belonged. All this time, I was being careful no one noticed me. Then I started to see images of friends of mine.
Hey, Mark. Simon. Hi. In the east somewhere. In India. They're not following Christianity back to their roots. They can't come with me. They can't come.
I felt myself sliding down, sinking deeper and deeper into my consciousness, into my subconscious. I saw Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan. Hi. Is that you? What are you doing here?
Same as you?
Are we telepathically communicating?
I think so.
Oh, wow. What a blowout. My head's doing the most amazing things. My head's just opened up. I can think whatever I want. Oh gosh, I'm glad to hear. How are you?
Fine. His voice trailed and got fainter. I was sinking deeper now. I was right down inside myself. That's when I heard my lecturer, Neil. Shauna.
Neil? Is that you? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. You can hear me and I can hear you. It's so easy.
It's just telepathy.
Yeah, but I didn't know people can do it. Can many people do it?
Some of us know how to.
Wow. Do you do it often? Am I always going to be able to do it?
Not always.
Oh, wow. This is a blowout. I'm no longer alone. I can communicate with people like this in my head.
The conversation went on. I think I talked in my head most of that night on the way back to Sydney. I know I didn't sleep. It was the second night I'd gone without sleep. In the morning, the train arrived in Sydney. By that stage, I was pretty well psychotic.
Where do I go? Where do I go? They're waiting for me. Where are they?
This was part of the initiation, part of the performance I was doing. I knew I was being watched. I had to find my way to the place where the ceremony was to be held. I could see all the planes from all over the world that had come to Sydney, each one carrying elders from all the tribes all over the world. They'd all come to Sydney for my initiation.
Of course. The old woman. The guardian angel.
I started to follow the old woman, but she half turned her head towards me, and I knew I wasn't to follow her. I had to find my own way.
It's a secret society. I have to follow the signs. They're leaving me signs. Have to be careful not to get caught. Have to pass the test.
I walk out into the morning. It's early, there's hardly anyone around. My house is quite near Central Station, but I don't feel this is where I have to go.
My bag. I left my bag in Melbourne.
All I had was a key.
My mother. I have to find my natural mother. It's part of the initiation ceremony. She'll be at the ceremony site.
I'm wandering around Surrey Hills, following my instincts, waiting for the signs.
7. We need 7 spotlights. 7 people from my tribe, from my bloodline. I need 7 people from my tribe to take to the initiation ceremony.
Who was from my tribe? I thought of my friends. Rose, she was from my tribe. She would be at college. I made my way to City Art.
David? Do you know where Rose is? Is she here?
I was being careful. Mustn't let him know what's going on. Mustn't let him know.
Oh, thanks. Do you know when she'll be back?
No, sorry.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
I was panicking. I didn't know where to go. I wandered around Surrey Hills when suddenly...
Oh, fuck. David was one of them. I didn't recognise him.
I was too arrogant. I didn't see that David was from my tribe. I ran back to college.
David.
But I couldn't find him.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna fail.
I ran back to the streets. Started making my way to Rose's house. There was a man on a street corner. He looked at me.
He's a guardian angel. They're watching me. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Just have to stay calm. Shaker blood. I have shaker blood.
Neil had taught us about the Shakers. They were a religious group. I could read my expression in the face I was pulling. I was a Shaker. The Shakers would go wild in church, burst spontaneously into song or revelations. They were inspired by God.
And Masons. Hardjack was a Mason, Fatty Car was a Shaker. The Shakers and the Masons met. My bloodlines.
Mother means wisdom.
Mother means wisdom. Hardjack was a Mason, he was my father. Fatty Pa was a Shaker, he was my mother. Mother means wisdom. What does that mean? To find my natural mother.
I knew that my grandfathers, both dead, were with me. They were watching my progress and helping me. I didn't know what to do. I arrived at Brumby Street, my home.
Where is everyone? There's no one here.
I see Azaria. She races into her room without greeting me.
She's like a cat. She can smell death. She's running away from it. And there's no one here. It's all deserted. I'm dying. That's what's happening. I have to die. The smell of death. The smell is me. I'm dying. I have to die. I know it. The smell is me. I'm dying.
Sonia races into the room. Jono comes in. They're like pixies. They don't seem real to me.
Will you be your bag of fat?
We've been tripping.
I know.
Yeah?
I felt it on the ferry. I felt the trip.
You big hippie, you've been hitchhiking again.
I felt it.
Well, went to a factory, and there was a dog, a big dog, and it barked at us.
I felt the trip.
I went to my room. My mattress was on the floor. My bed base was suspended over my mattress on some milk crates. This was my cave. I built a cave in my room.
What do they all mean? They all mean something. My boots. And Gogh painted his boots. Painted his boots, so he took him on a journey. He did this. He did this journey. I have to make it. I have to pass the test. To work out where to go. To work out.
I was getting upset. I didn't understand. I was getting upset. When Rose came in. What are you doing?
Nothing.
And she did something. She did something and she looked like a monkey. I laughed. I laughed and laughed because she was a monkey. We were all monkeys. Then Rose was gone. And Ian was in my room. I was upset and someone had called Ian. And Ian and Sonia were in my room. And they were both in my room and asking me what was wrong. And I had my head in Ian's lap.
Do I have to do this? It's my best friend. He's my brother. Why can't it be something else? Does he know? Yes, he knows. We have to be united in this way. It's part of the initiation. But it's friendship, it's not like that. I can do it. I love you, Ian. I love you.
I moved my hand towards his pants. I knew it had to be done.
But he's my best friend.
I knew I had to suck him off. Just then, Sonia burst into the room, fell on the floor before us, and handed us each a banana. We all sat on the floor, eating bananas. Ian and Sonia were innocent. They were two of the innocent ones from the other world, the world of the vampires. It was getting dark. I must have seemed upset still. Ian asked me to stay at his place for the night. Come on, Shauna. Let's go to my place.
Ian knows. He knows about the initiation. I'm meant to go to his place. It's really important. There's good and evil in the city. It's up to me.
I could feel the good and evil out in the city. Everything was quiet. It was the calm before the storm. It's
It's really important. The outcome of this initiation is really important. It doesn't just affect me.
Come on, Shauna. Let's walk to my house.
Okay. Ian knows. He knows everything. He's a vampire.
We walked out into the street. It was night.
Ian's a vampire. And the lamb in the Bible, that's Neil. They're watching me. They're protecting me. They have to protect me. I'm doing something. Something really important. What am I doing? Initiation. It's about good and evil. I just have to keep it together. To stay calm.
There were limousines escorting us through the streets of Surrey Hills. Black limousines. They moved very slowly. We walked very slowly. They were protecting me, making sure I arrived at Ian's house safely. There was a hush in the city. I was quiet. Something was about to happen. Something to do with me. I could feel all of the good people and all the buildings around us. Everyone was silent, waiting. I had to stay very calm. We arrived at Ian's.
There's a metal gate on the front of his front door. I'll be safe here. This is where the vampires sleep. I'm one of them. I'm a vampire.
We entered the house. Ian lay a clean shirt out of bed, told me to go and have a shower. I hadn't showered, slept or eaten in days. The water was hot. Felt amazing. I went back to Ian's room, clean from my shower with a fresh shirt on. I didn't say a word to him about what was going on.
He knows everything. He's a vampire.
Come on, Shauna. Hop in the bed and go to sleep now. I did as he said. As I lay there, I tried to work out what was happening.
Okay. I'm a vampire. We sleep during the day. Outside the world carries on as usual. It's daytime. We stay behind closed doors. Am I always going to be avoiding people this way? What happens when I wake up? Will it be nighttime? Or daytime in a different reality? A parallel universe? The vampire estates? Am I always going to be living in safe houses around the city? I don't understand how this works. It's okay. Ian knows. Just calm down.
Shauna, go to sleep.
Okay.
I rolled over. In the morning, Ian was gone. There was a note on the bed and a key. I went to the kitchen. Ian's flatmate Chris was there, wearing a white bathrobe. What's wrong, sweetie? Sweetie, what's wrong?
Chris is my mother! I found my mother! It's Chris! Chris is my mother!
Sweetie, has Ian gone to work already? I have to go to work too. You're going to be all right. Look, why don't you stay here and we'll be home in the afternoon, okay, sweetie? I calmed down and Chris left for work. There was a note on the bed and the key. It was on a Popeye keyring, Robin Williams. He was Popeye. Then I thought...
Dad's going to meet me in the city and take me to the initiation ceremony.
I was excited.
What should I wear?
I rummaged through Ian's wardrobe, pulled out a clean pair of jeans, a shirt, and a corduroy jacket. I started to laugh, but just then...
I'm meant to be humble.
I quickly got changed back into my own clothes. I had to be humble, I had to wear my own clothes to the ceremony.
Where do I go?
I looked at the note Ian had left. He'd left his work phone number.
That must be Dave's number.
I rang it.
Well, I can't speak to Dave. Yeah, it's Dave there. No, Dave, no.
They didn't know any Dave. I began to panic. I'd read the signs wrong. I didn't know what to do.
Signs aren't always obvious. Things aren't always obvious. Things aren't always the way they seem. It's okay, just calm down.
I had to go outside and find Dave. He was my leader, the Masonic leader, and he would come and take me to the place I was meant to go to. He was the head of my tribe. I had to go find him. I unlocked the door at Ian's and let myself out.
Thank God. 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 Thank God.
I made my way to the corner of Brumby and
Thank God.
Streets. The bulldozers had been. There was nothing but
Thank
mud.
God.
They'd knocked the terraces down.
Thank
And
God.
it was cold and drizzling and
Thank
windy.
God.
And the ground had begun to shake.
Thank God.
And there was only one thing I could think of to stop it. I was the saint, the hermit in the wilderness. The wasteland around me was the wilderness of the city. Like the saint, I was being tested. There was a breath of air in my lungs.
Wisdom. Mother means wisdom.
I've been separated from my wisdom at birth. My wisdom been taken from me.
Mother.
I've been separated from my mother at birth. I've lost my wisdom. But now I've found it. In my chest.
I don't have to chant anymore.
I had my wisdom.
Feel safe. Feel safe.
I had to move. I had to follow the signs. I walked down to Central Station. I was sitting on a platform with my eyes lowered to the ground.
Just keep my eyes lowered. I mustn't look anyone in the eyes. I must be humble.
A man walks past and taps his cane on the ground 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. A train pulls in and I know I must get on the 3rd carriage. Here's a sign. I'm to get off. It's Strathfield.
To keep my eyes shut. I have to feel my way.
I bump into a gate. Oh, where's your ticket? It's okay. He left me alone. I knew he would. I was on a mission. I'm being watched by the higher ones. I reach a road. My eyes are still closed. I step up to the curb.
Fuck!
A car just misses me. Then I remember.
Look to the right, look to the left, look to the right again.
My grandfather's taught me that. My grandfathers are with me. I step up to the curb again. Listening to the right, listening to the left, listening to the right again. A car pulls up. A woman gets out. She has questions.
Have to answer the questions correctly. It's part of the initiation.
What is your name? I give her the name, my natural birth certificate, not my real name.
Kristen Ray Chisholm!
Where do you live? I I have to think quickly. I know the response I have to give.
1 Pine Street, Normanhurst.
My parents. I remember being made to memorise it as a child. These people have been sent, and I'm to go with them.
Of course my parents' place. No cameras, it has to be humble, no one must know about it.
I hop in the back of their car. There's a man driving in front. We're in the middle of Christendom. This is where I've come back to. I have returned. They give me an apple and an orange.
We're driving along, and we come to a building. I think it's a hospital. And they're asking me something or saying something to me. Then I'm back in the car, but in the front this time, and it's just me and the man. And we're driving along, and we come to a sign, and it says no right turn, but I think he's going to turn right. And then I realise Christendom is a trick, and this is a bad place, and this is a bad man, and I've been tricked, and I undo my seatbelt, and I hop out of the car, and he starts to yell after me, but I start to run.
I ran until I had to walk. The ground was shaking. I knew I had to get back to Surrey Hills. I knew that Christendom was an evil place. I was near Gordon. I recognised where I was. I made my way towards Gordon Station. I still have the apple and the orange. I needed to find the banana.
It's okay.
At Gordon Station, the ticket collector signed to me. He knew who I was and what I was doing. It's a message. I'm on the right track. I caught the train back to Central.
I'm arriving in Surrey Hills, and I'm riding on the back of a donkey. And there are people with palm leaves everywhere. It's me. I'm the Messiah. I'm the Messiah. I'm the second coming. And there are people crowded along the streets of Surrey Hills, and they're all there for me. But I know this can't happen. It has to be humble. No one must know who I am or what I'm doing. It has to be a secret. But I can see them all!
I still have the apple and the orange. I'm awaiting the banana. I know this is symbolic of the Trinity, that the banana is the phallus. I'm trying to work out what the apple and the orange symbolise. My head has opened up.
I'm getting all these visuals all the time!
Something immense is happening. What I'm doing, this doesn't have personal ramifications. This is going to affect the whole of humanity.
It's me! Oh, I have to be humble.
My clothes were humble. I was wearing my grandfather's jacket. Everything I was wearing had been given to me. It felt good to be back in the city.
This is my home. This is where I belong.
I'm searching for the place where they're awaiting my arrival. I'm searching for the temple. There's a building on Devonshire Street.
123 Devonshire Street.
This is the place. I know this is the place. It's been done up. I know this is the headquarters.
Knock and the door will be open.
I have a vision of a stadium, an indoor stadium, and the audience is looking down on the performance area.
Knock and the door will be open.
I find the key in my pocket. It's a trick, an earthly symbol. I don't need anything material. Shh. I have to be humble. I have to be humble. I walk to the terrace next to the building. I walk down the path leading to the door.
This is a place. It's where my mother's going to be. I'm going to meet her.
Suddenly all these sirens went off, lights were flashing, I knew there were television cameras inside and an audience.
No!
I ran away.
No!
It had to be humble, no one must know, there must be no cameras.
Knock and the door will be open. Or is it the door is always open? The door to the kingdom.
I walk back to 123 Devonshire Street. The door is open. I step inside. I see a room full of coffins.
This is where the vampires sleep.
It's daylight and the vampires are asleep here. The vampires were an alternate reality to God, the reversal of night and day, so that parallel realities were existing at the one time. I ran back home, back to Brumby Street.
The door was open, they were waiting for me. Maybe at night.
I walk back to the temple. I walk inside. A woman asks me, "Are you all right?" She sits me down and goes to get a man.
He's coming towards me.
I think this is a psychiatric unit.
They want to catch me.
I run back to 123 Brumby Street again. This night will be the dark night of the soul. It's getting dark. I sat in my room, in my cave. All this time I'd had a vision. I thought I was meant to go to the performance space. I could see all the leaders of the tribes there.
Celebrating my arrival.
They were jumping meters in the air, participating in this crazy dance, this celebration.
I'm going to join them when I arrive. I'll be one of them.
Something sinister was happening now.
Armageddon.
There was a battle about to take place, a battle between good and evil.
That's two. Three is the Trinity and two is good and evil.
It was up to me which way it would go. If I failed, humanity would be cast into an everlasting hell. I could hear the city outside. It was evil and corrupt and grey. The good people were all inside. They knew what I must do. It was all up to me. We would plummet into this Armageddon together or go to paradise, the world of the fields and estates, the vampire reality.
It was up to me.
It was up to me. I thought the performance was to be held in an arena. I could see it in my mind, but suddenly I began to realise it was occurring now. And even though my body was here in the room, there was another reality where I was in the arena and I was being told to lay low. The voices were in my chest. Millions of people were in my chest and they were telling me to lay low. I knew that hidden away in rooms throughout the city there were people experiencing this with me. They were living through what I was going through. There was good and evil out there and the good was in my chest and telling me what to do. I could hear them cheering me on when I did the right thing. It was happening now! A tape recording went off in my head. It had been put there by my grandfather's when I was a child. It was playing at fast speed. I'd been programmed as a child for this. It told me all about body language and what it meant. I was performing to myself, moving my body to this tape recording. When the battle started.
Jonathan was with me, and there were two others, two friends, but they were evil. I heard their sex. They wore armour and grinded furiously. They were for the world of the flesh, and they were evil. And Jonathan was my brother. He was my brother, and he was fighting with me in this performance. And I can see the four of us in an arena, and there's a crowd up high behind a glass screen, and they're watching us.
They did something, my opponents. They made a move and I reacted to it. What I did was so obvious, they laughed. The voices were telling me to lay low. I was on my back trying to just stay calm. Stay calm. I could see us performing. I had to wait for my next turn. I had to lay low. I was in my cave. I was not allowed out of my room until daybreak. My room was completely dark with the curtain closed. No light could come in. I had no idea what time it was. I only knew that this would not be over until daybreak. I heard a car beep outside. It was a sign. It was for me. It was telling me that I was all right. That everything was all right.
Then I'm giving birth to the earth. I'm lying on my mattress on my side, and I'm bleeding everywhere. And then I piss myself and I shit myself. Blood, piss and shit everywhere. I can feel it. It's warm and sticky. Blood, piss and shit, and I'm rolling in it, rolling in the earth, giving birth to the earth. Blood, piss and shit. Then I think about the clitoris, vagina, and anus. I think about fire, water, earth, air. I'm trying to work out what it all means. I'm thinking about all the elements, emotion, intellect, and wisdom. I'm trying to work out what's masculine and feminine. I'm trying to work out what it all means. Then I'm a fetus. I'm a fetus, and I'm inside my mother's womb. I'm inside her womb, and I can feel the phallus. The phallus is entering her, and it's bumping me,
who I am. Oh shit. It is me. It is me. I am the second coming, and this is Armageddon, and I must perform for the sake of humanity. This is the dark night of the soul. I have to do the right thing. I must go to the front door and open it at first light. They're all waiting for me. I must go to the front door and open it at first light. That will be the sign that I've succeeded. I must know when the time has come. I think that it's daybreak. I go to the front door and open it.
Jesus.
It's still dark. It's all into everlasting darkness due to my pride. I race out into the street. It's raining and I only have socks on.
Forgive me. Oh God. Oh God, forgive me, please. Oh God. No. No.
I hear the rumble of thunder. Everything else is quiet and still. It's the middle of the night. I realise that it's not over yet, that I must lay low and not make a spectacle of myself. With my tail between my legs, I make my way back to my room. This was just another part of the test.
Forgive me. I am evil. It's not me, I'm not the one. It's my pride. Forgive me.
I forgot to be humble. I keep thinking I'm the one.
It's not me, I'm not the one.
I'm in my room. I'm frantic. I don't know how much time has passed. There's a knock at my door. Dale comes into the room. I look her in the eyes and quickly look away. She's my mother. I challenge my mother. I shouldn't look her in the eyes. I should have my eyes lowered. Mikey comes into my room and hugs me. He becomes my mother. I smell perfume on him. I'm sobbing. I'm in the kitchen. John is there with his daughter Karina. I pick her up and look her in the eyes. She falls backwards in my arms as though in bliss.
It's me.
I am the second coming. John has his head down.
He brought it to me.
He knows who I am. I don't know what's going on. I'm becoming frantic. Kate visits. What's wrong? I can't speak. She has to go to work. She tells me to wait for her return. I'm in my room. I know I have to wait. I just have to keep it together. Jemima comes in. What's wrong?
They took it away from me.
What did they take away from you? But I can't tell her. They took my mother away from me. They took my wisdom away from me. But I can't tell her. I'm not allowed to tell anybody anything. I'm in my room. I know I have to wait. I have to keep it together. They're going to take me to the place I'm meant to go to. I have to keep it together. Just keep it together. I'm in the lounge room. I'm frantic. Everyone's around me. They're asking me who they can call. I want Cecile. I want Dave. But they're both overseas. Phone rings. I know it's a trick. I know it's not God. It's Ian. But I can't talk to him. I'm freaking out. Shauna, who we ring? They keep asking me.
Diane, ring Diane!
Diane's a lecturer of mine. And there's there. She has Diane's number. That's it. I have to go to Diane's place. That's what's going to be held. They stop me. Tell me to wait. And it calls her. I'm in the lounge room, I'm freaking out, everyone's around me. They're trying to keep me calm. Diane arrives. I hear her thoughts. I focus on the sleeve of her jacket. It's the same as mine. And I look at her. I realise she is me. She is me. I'm looking in her eyes. She knows what's happening. She tells me she's taking me to the hospital. Annette comes along. They get me in the car. I know I'm safe. They're going to take me to the place I'm meant to go to. I collapse exhausted in the back of the car. We arrive at Caritas. I'm relieved. I'm taken to a doctor's office. Diane and Annette are with me. But the three of them in the room with me. There's only about two in the room at the same time. I'm looking around trying to work out who's in the room with me. What are they? Vampires or angels? The doctor's asking me questions. I stand behind her at a desk and start scribbling on a notepad. She asks me what it means.
You're the doctor, you work it out.
Then I start hitting her on top of the head. Diane tells me to stop. I shouldn't treat the doctor that way. I'm in the corner of the room like a monkey on my tiptoes. The doctor asks me something.
There are lots of levels of consciousness. I think I've been through all of them.
They're taking me to the ward. A guy with a guitar kneels down before me and starts to sing.
It's me. I'm the second coming. I've arrived here, and they've awaited my arrival. I'm sitting down waiting to be seen. Diane is sitting next to me, and I'm surrounded by a white light. I'm inside this place and I'm safe. Everyone here is safe. The outside world is doomed, but everyone in here is to be saved. I start to look at everyone and they start to look like people I know. I'm beginning to recognise bloodlines and to know what tribe people are coming from. I look at everyone's faces and see how they're all related. Then I realise everything's one. Everything's God. There is no bad. There is no evil. Just good. Just God. And we're all connected. And then they take me to a dining room and they give me a plate of food and they sit me down and Anna's sitting next to me. We're in a bubble and she's my brother when we're younger and I'm trying to share my food with her and we're laughing and they're telling me to eat but I'm eating and Anna eats with me and I know I'm in this place and I know I'm safe but I'm wondering when they'll take me to the place and I'm imagining my sleep dropping through into a different reality and I'm imagining dropping through and I'll be wearing slippers and I'm not in it all be a big joke but when I wake up I'm in a hospital bed next to an anorexic woman and it looks like a vampire but it's actually David Bowie.
I had a few tantrums, a few primal screams. I had a few needles stuck in my arm. I was put on medication. I'm still on medication. I was in Caritas for 5 weeks, slowly climbing out of the delusion I was in. But it took me 8 months to recover. Mental illness. Fucked if I understand it. But I take my pills every day. I do believe I have a chemical imbalance. And this was all just one big trip. I don't know what I think. If I had to say one thing, it would be this. I know that modern Western medicine is fucked up a lot, but they are working towards a better understanding of mental illness. If I'd been born 50 years ago, I might have spent my life in an institution. As it is, they tend to fix me up pretty quickly. I don't know if there are any answers, but mental illness is something I live with, and something which I value, because even though it's given me the most terrifying experiences of my life, it's also given me the richest. Thank you.
We'd just like to say a couple of thank yous, if that's all right. But thanks everyone for coming tonight. Thank you to James Manser, our director, who's, just hiding. And to Con, who just does everything that we can't do. Rose Viziotis tonight, thanks, and Liz. Liz did the door, and thank Newtown Festival for having us on, and the Edge Theatre, everyone here for having us, and Elizabeth from Mental Health Week, because they sponsored us, which helped us be here as well, and my family for coming tonight as well, because I haven't seen it before. So thank you everyone.